Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for another episode of Think and Grow with Vette Green. Today, we are here for a special episode in the 716 Live studios. Today, we have the beautiful Roquisha Lewis, the mom of Tyler Lewis, who was killed on the UB campus back in October of 2022. Still, yet we have no answers, no full answers to what was done to Tyler Lewis. And today we are here to speak with Roquisha, get to know who Roquisha is, get to know who Tyler was, because he could have been any of our children, any of our child sitting here. I have two kids right now who are the same age as Tyler, one who's at Chicago State University. So I can't even imagine the turmoil that you have gone through over the last few months. And then for him to be hundreds of miles away, that just adds to the turmoil. I think about me traveling, and when we were just a few minutes ago, we spoke briefly about you coming here, and at that time it was a happy occasion because your son was coming to school miles away from home, miles away from everything that he had known for all of his life. You brought him up here to Buffalo, and he should have been safe because he was going to college, right? He came here to get a education, but during that time, a tragedy happened, and I still can't wrap my mind around the fact that this happened in Buffalo, and we have not heard about it. Like, why is it a secret? Why is it that I had to learn about this while doing another interview up here in the 716 Live studio? And I thank you guys, Miles, David, Sister Carrie. I thank you guys for even bringing it to my attention, because prior to that interview, I had not heard about it, which is shocking to me, because we are supposed to send our kids to school and they're supposed to be safe. So, how is it that a child came to Buffalo from Long Island, from the city, and he was not safe? How is it that this mom still has no answers? I just still cannot wrap my mind around it. And I must have told 10 or 20 people. And out of the 10 or 20 people that I told, maybe two of them knew what the hell I was talking about. How, Buffalo? How can we stand for this? How can we tell a parent that it's okay to send their child to Buffalo and them not be safe? How can we sit here and allow this mom to experience this turmoil and still have no answers? Byron Brown, I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out. As a black man with a black son, I'm calling you out, because this is yes, we need justice. This is beyond ridiculous. This happened October 14th of 2022. It is now January of 2023, and she still has no answers. So I'm going to open up the floor, Roquisha. I want you to just give us a brief, just tell us a little bit about who Tyler was, because I need everyone who's listening to this to look at him as a human being. I need everyone who's listening to this to look at him as if this can be your son, your child. Go ahead.
Child, smart. Oh, sorry. Tyler was my only child, smart, funny, um, kind. Uh, he had goals. He wouldn't hurt a fly. Uh,
What did he come to Buff State to achieve?
Business administration. So
Business
yes, that's
administration.
what his goal. He wanted to be a business mogul. He had great aspirations. His goals were just to. He said, "Mom, I'm not coming home after school. I am straight into real estate. I'm investing. You know, I'm working hard." He worked through high school, McDonald's.
I
He
saw the one where he was doing the video, and this
TikTok.
was, yeah, the TikTok where
Yeah,
he was dancing.
yeah. He was. Wasn't where. Yeah, he was just a funny. That was my buddy. Yeah, just nothing bad to say about Tyler Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss him so much.
So we also have Tyler's uncle.
So my name is Ryan Jones. I'm Tyler's uncle. So Tyler is the youngest person in our family. Everything revolved around Tyler. Christmases, everybody was asking Tyler, "What do you want?" Of course, like he had so much. it was like, you know, he didn't really know. So I ended up giving him money. But Tyler was like my road dog. Like I took Tyler everywhere. I just wanted him to experience life, and the fact that his life is taken short, it's really heartbreaking to me because Tyler would talk to me about his goals, what he wanted to do in life. Like his mom said, he wanted to be in real estate. He would always send me stuff about business, and he always be like, Uncle Ryan, we're gonna start this business, and you know, I want you to be one of my investors. And then, you know, I miss him so much because we always used to just talk about goals and what he wanted to do in life. One of my last conversations when he was telling me like, "Oh, I want to go into finance, so I can learn a little bit more about stocks." And you know, just a fun-loving kid. Like this kid, like would walk in a room and it would light up the room, like because he was fly tie, like you type of kid that you just warm up to instance, you gravitate to him because of his smile and just his personality. He has such a warm heart. You know, he spent time with his grandmother a lot. He would take her to church, spend time with her after church, and you know, he was like the apple of our eye. So our family is really heartbroken. I miss him and I love him so much. But a piece of me is gone. We're here to bring awareness to Tyler's death because not enough folks know about it. And we want to bring awareness and put pressure on the authorities to ensure that we get justice for Tyler.
So I want to bring it over to Cario, David, Miles. I want to thank you three again. And Taniqua, I know you may be out there watching. I call her our Tamika Mallory of Buffalo. Um, I want to thank you guys, but I want to ask you, the three of you, why do you think we are not hearing more about Tyler Lewis? Why are we just now hearing more about this? Why is this story not in the forefront in the Buffalo news? Why is it that the mayor isn't talking about it? Why isn't it that UB isn't talking about it? Buff State is not talking about it. This is the school that he attended. Why is nobody talking about this? Go, please.
You know, I think I'm just be 100% with you. Buffalo, especially Buff State, B is very political. And just like Buff State, I know we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but Buff State has a history of hiding things like this. For instance, I know this happened at UB, but I went to Buff State. I'm a graduate from Buff State College, and the year that I actually graduated, we had another student that went missing, and her name was Sanaya Dennis, and they said she just jumped off Niagara Falls. There was never an investigation, a proper investigation put on for this family. They were also from New York City, so we're tying some things together. But I think it's just in Buffalo, we have a history, especially when it comes to Black people at that, of hiding things. And then we're dealing with two colleges. We're putting their reputations on the line right now.
Two huge colleges here in
Yeah.
Buffalo. A lot of students leave. I mean, a lot of students here in Buffalo go to those colleges. A lot of students go to those colleges.
Yeah, there was another one that David brought to my attention. His name was Royden Cove. And he was murdered at a college party in March of 2022. And there has been no arrests in his death either. And he was a young Black student. I don't know if he was from New York City, but he was a young Black student going to Buff State as well. So, like David was saying, is that we do have a history of this here. Also, these are political appointments. Like UB is a political school. In order to be, in the leadership at UB, you have to know the politicians in Western New York, and it's that's how you get in there. It's not based on merit. At Buffalo State University, it's the same ideal. Is like the way you move up in administration is through nepotism and through having those people like the president of Buffalo State College is very closely tied in with Mayor Brown, and that's just a fact. And a lot of what we were doing because we've been talking about this for a minute, and people were saying, well, Mayor Brown's responsibility isn't to be running the investigation, right?
No,
because
but
this
it is
happened in Amherst.
it is his responsibility to make sure that it is being investigated.
There you go, and that's where the accountability is lacking, is because Mayor Brown should be the one on Channel 4 News, Channel 7 News,
Absolutely,
Channel
and
2
he has
News.
this is what
on-
is bothering me
Yeah,
so much. His,
go ahead.
it is, they are parents.
Mhm.
They are parents of a young Black man themselves. How could this go on in this city? How?
Well, the first thing like I thought of, like I'm 32, I'm gonna be 33 in like 2 weeks. My daughter is 13 years old. You know what I mean? And when I saw Tyler's picture, like his graduation picture is what I saw. Like I could just see that like like his youthfulness matches that of my 13-year-old daughter. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
he
You
has
saw it as a parent.
he has an innocence in him, and
Mhm.
to me like that instantly connected me. And the way that I got involved actually is because my aunt Akua, shout out, she called me a couple weeks ago, and this was after the blizzard, and she says, Miles, who's running Black Lives Matter in Buffalo? And obviously there's no Black Lives Matter chapter in Buffalo, but she was really saying, oh, you do all this Black activism, why aren't you out here doing something about Tyler Lewis?
So
And
your
and
aunt
she
told you
yeah, and
about
she's
it.
80 some years old. She's the one that brought it to my attention. She's a student at UB. She's going for a doctorate. But that's
Wow.
kind of like what prompted me to really start doing something, because we had just got shaken up by the blizzard, and my head's all over the place. But yeah, and I'm sorry for your loss. You know what I mean? It's like it connects with me, because it's like it this continues to happen here, and like I hate seeing parents come here. You know what I mean? I hate seeing people lose people here. It's like Buffalo has been a spot of a tremendous loss lately, and like this is another tragedy for us.
I want to rewind some because, again, I want everybody to look at Tyler Lewis as who he was prior to this happening to him. His mom took, what is it, 7 hours from the city? How long is that drive from the city that you and Tyler had to take?
7 hours.
It was about 7 hours. Was it just you and him?
My husband.
You, your husband,
Yeah,
and him?
and Tyler.
How was that? It was an exciting occasion. I can just
Yeah,
imagine
we
you're
were
moving your
proud.
baby and your
Yes.
only child, and
Yes, we're very proud. I'm sorry. Yeah, we were overjoyed. We packed him up, and I was happy to design his dorm room, and had his
fun
colors.
part. Did
Yeah,
you
it
take
was.
him to Walmart and stuff in Target to do the shopping?
Nope, I surprised him.
Oh.
I had the colors all coordinated. It was black, red, and white. Ordered everything online through Wayfair, and had a red refrigerator. I coordinated everything. He's like, Mom, I can't have a microwave. I can't have a air fryer. I can't have
That's
all
smart,
this stuff.
right?
But I had everything. It was all packed up. He had just a little bit of room to sit. But I was determined. I was just so
All the
happy and
way from
overjoyed. Yeah.
home.
Yeah. And so was he. He was just so happy.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
was a new chapter for him.
of
This is his
course.
first,
Independence. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
away from mom and dad.
Yeah. So this was his second year. Yeah. He was a sophomore. And that, when kids have a bit of independence, they still love coming home. The first time during his first freshman year, he had to FaceTime me. How am I doing this laundry? It was a whole different experience, but I was there for it, and
Yeah.
happy, excited with him. When he was going to his classes his first year, he would talk to me on the phone before he met his girlfriend. He would talk to me all the
And we
time.
also have here in
Yeah.
the studio.
He would talk to
How
me.
was that?
Yeah, yeah. That was my buddy. So he would talk to me out every class. He was like, okay, I'm here. But then after about a week and a half, he would stop calling me. He's like, I got it. Stop calling me. I'm good, Mom. But, that's how kids are. But, it was just, I miss him. This did not have to happen.
Yeah.
And I can't even grieve properly because I don't have any answers as to what happened to my baby boy. It's not fair. They're just
No,
giving me the runaround.
an autopsy was done,
Yes, it was. Yeah.
and you probably can't speak too much on what it showed. The case is still pending. What are the authorities saying?
Nothing.
That
Well,
you can
Tyler was
share.
stabbed. Tyler was stabbed on UB campus. That's
Mhm.
that's what the autopsy shows. But as far as there's been no arrest. They have suspects. They're lawyered up, and the people that brought him there have lawyered up, and they won't talk. And that's it.
No one's gone to jail. Has anyone been charged?
No,
No
the
one's
only
been charged.
no, the only thing I know is a white male that stabbed Tyler, suspect that was in the paper initially. And
That's it.
that's it.
So we know that he was a student. We know that he was stabbed. We know that he was stabbed by a white male, and that's it.
No
That's it.
sketch.
No sketch of any. Have they released the name?
No name.
Nothing.
No,
What about witnesses? They have not said anything.
no cameras.
No cameras.
They know who.
But they know who it is. They know the name of this young individual. And apparently this individual was seen with the bloodstains on his shirt.
Yeah, so the Buffalo News is actually one of the only news agencies that was actually reporting on Tyler Lewis locally. The day or the evening that he was stabbed, they wrote about him, and they provided the description in there that was provided by the police. That it was a male between the height of 5'5" and 5'9", which is a pretty wide range, right?
For a male,
yeah,
yeah.
Caucasian. He was wearing a mustard colored shirt with blood stains on it, and he had lacerations across his face, and he had dirty blonde hair. So that's essentially the description that was provided about him. I've looked through countless news articles. I think there was 4 times the Buffalo News wrote about it. I've looked at essentially every news
outlet.
reporting that was put out online, all the video and everything. There's no further updates anywhere. I've contacted the district attorney's office myself because I write for the Challenger, right? I've contacted UB Police Department. They're saying that they're not able to comment right now because it's an ongoing
Which
investigation.
means that they really aren't investigating it.
I think it's kind of abnormal because typically District Attorney Flynn, runs his mouth about an investigation within the first 48 hours of something going on.
Mhm.
I don't know if you remember when Kente Bell was accused of driving through the city of Buffalo and shooting at police officers, and they had a press conference that evening, plastering his face, talking about his priors, going through that whole thing with him. But that was a black male. Right, we're talking about a white male suspect here, but they were being very close-lipped, and it's been 4 months. Like he said, I believe they do know the name. Like it's University of Buffalo. It's supposed to be one of the safest spots in all of Western New York.
With no cameras.
Like they got to know who he is. Like there's thousands of witnesses. Like there's there's a description of a vehicle that was provided. Like you can't tell me that nobody has the license plate anywhere. There's a student that was written about in the Buffalo newspaper. His name was Farhi. I forget what his first name was, but he said that his friend was coming outside and he saw 5 white males jumping someone, and he was like, he said he went back inside to, I guess, get away from whatever was going on. We don't even know if that incident is related. You know what I mean? We as far as the police's version of the investigation. So it's like they haven't said anything. And as far as we know, like there's a killer roaming around in Amherst.
Right. Who's getting away with it? Who's getting away with it, y'all?
The whole community should be outraged. It's
Exactly.
like we should be scared as hell. Like somebody's running around like stabbing somebody. Like, come on now.
And I'm going to need us to step up. I'm going to need us to step up. Do our lives not matter? This is what is so frustrating. We will get out here and we will protest. We will protest we will, burn shit up. But when it comes to our kids, we sit and do nothing, y'all. How is that okay? How is it okay for someone's child to go to school and get killed? How is that okay? Why is it that we do not see that our lives matter, that our kids matter too? How is that, Buffalo? I'm talking to all the people on the east side. I'm talking to all the people on the west side. I'm talking to all the people out in Lackawanna. How is it that our kids' lives do not matter? Is it okay? It is not okay for me. This just does not sit right with me, and it should not sit right with you. If you are sitting there on your couch right now, you should be sharing this live. You should be telling somebody who Tyler Lewis is. You should be telling somebody Tyler Lewis. This is the things that we need to do. Y'all seen what happened when we were snowed in. We came together. We had to make sure that we were okay. This is the exact same thing that we need to do. We can't Wait on somebody to take care of us. I keep saying this over and over again. Waiting on somebody to save us, we will be waiting and waiting and waiting. We need to be putting out flyers. She came up here, she drove 4 a.m. She drove 4 a.m. to make sure that she can hand out flyers. Why should she have to drive hundreds of miles away when there are parents here in the Buffalo area that can be handing out flyers? Help me understand this. Help me understand this, Carol. Help me understand how a mom would have to go through this. This happened in October, y'all. This happened in October. Why are we not outraged? Why are we not at the stairs of City Hall protesting? Why are we not at UB campus protesting right now? Why is Buff State, they lost a student? Why are they not saying anything right now? Help me understand, because I can't seem to wrap my mind around this thing right now. I really can't. Does my child not matter? Because that's what y'all saying. My child, this was her only son. This was her only child. Everything was wrapped around him. What part are we not understanding here, y'all? What part are we not understanding? Help me understand.
I can't help you understand, but I could help with the outrage. The same thing happened with Sanaya Dennis. She came from New York City, and now she was missing. Her family had no answers. She also went to Buff State. So I don't know if there's well, actually, you know what? There is an issue with Buff State, and you know how I know? Because she told me, and you can speak on that.
Please do. I don't want you to think that you need to sit there and be quiet. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Carla Longmore. I'm Tyler's girlfriend. I attended Buff State my freshman year, and I did not return because it just wasn't a good school in my opinion.
What was going on there?
And you can and make sure they know that you are not from the Buffalo area.
Yeah, I came from the Bronx. I'm originally from the Bronx, and I came up here for school. My freshman year, the security is terrible. They don't have the RAs are supposed to check who's coming in, make sure that everybody's ID. They don't actually do that. The security is terrible. The police officers is not doing anything. The campus police, they're just not doing their job. I've been involved in a lot of altercations at school where I just really realized that the school is not a safe place. I was almost sexually assaulted twice on campus, and I was also physically assaulted while on campus, so I decided not to return. And I think that's an issue not only for Buff State, but UB as well, because they're convincing people that it's a safe campus to send your children to. And then once they get up here, it's not what they project it to be. I don't know if you guys saw, but the first article that UB had put out right after the whole incident, they told people that the campus is safe. How is it safe if you don't have anybody arrested? You don't know who did it. It's not safe for these people. They're trying to protect the image of the school. That's what they're trying to do. And it's not fair to the students and to the parents because they're lying. It's not fair.
It's not fair.
Either.
Yeah, they were more worried about an image. So
Than our children.
Exactly. So when you ask me, like, what's the issue here? It's the same thing with, I understand that it happened in Amherst. So Amherst needs to deal with it, but it's also a college where people go to from all over the world.
Mm-hmm. It's called University of Buffalo.
Exactly.
It should be something like, one of the demands is for the Department of Justice to actually have to intervene and hold an investigation. Because y'all see Buffalo's not doing it. The UB police is not doing it.
Amherst is not doing it.
Buffalo State Police isn't doing it. So who's going to step in and actually lead an investigation that's going to be fair and unbiased in this situation, right? Because if it is something that's politically associated, right, then we know that the local police can't handle it because they're controlled by the government.
Yeah,
right?
when I was driving the Stampede, the kids were, they were being kids, but the point is, there was a lot of drinking. There was a lot of the parties and everything, which is what college kids do.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like at one point, I wasn't supposed to, but I stopped to pick up a kid. He was standing at the wrong sign. It wasn't even a bus stop. It was more like a do not stand between the hours of, it was one of those signs. But I felt like if he was that drunk to where he's standing at the wrong sign on a major street, which was not even where the bus stop was, that I would pick him up to make sure that he was safe. But everybody doesn't feel that way. I could have gotten in trouble and lost my job for doing that. But at the same time, it meant more to me to make sure that this kid was safe than to just go by him and just hope that he made it. But everybody doesn't feel that way. You had something.
And another thing, today we were handing out flyers at the University of Buffalo. You see all these students, promising future, just like Tyler. Some of them didn't even know about Tyler's situation. We spoke to some folks there, and they've been advocating for more videos, more cameras on campus. Because at the residence hall, you think about it, if you don't have cameras there, how can you send your child there in confidence? I wouldn't feel safe like that if you just right outside the residence hall there was a murder and it's still outstanding. Nobody's been found. Nobody's been persecuted. There's no justice there. So how can you send your child to the same campus, to the same residence hall right outside? There was a murder, and they don't know about it. And there's something wrong with that.
Yeah, they don't put that in the advertisement.
Can I ask a question? This is for the Lewis family. They in the news it was reported that the altercation was between known individuals. So the white boy that stabbed Tyler, do you believe that he knew who he was, or do you feel like it was random?
Tyler didn't know who that was.
It was random. Is there something that makes
Even
you,
if he did know it, they have access to his phone. It would be easy to find someone like that, right?
Exactly.
and then also there was a reference to like the 5 other individuals. I don't know. You were on FaceTime with Tyler at the time that everything was going on. Like, what was the situation like?
At the time that he had gotten stabbed, I wasn't on the phone with him. I was on the phone with him earlier in the day, I'd say around 5 o'clock, because he was supposed to be waiting at his dorm for me. I was cooking for him that day, and he told me he was waiting for me. He wasn't even supposed to go to UB at all. And that was the last that I heard from him. I checked his location, and that's when I seen that he was over there. And by that time, I found out that he was already stabbed.
What do you know? What got him out of the dorm? Because I've heard various stories. I've heard that these kids actually came and got him out the dorm. Is that your understanding as well?
Yes, I heard the same thing.
Mhm.
These are not his friends. He was lured there. And I don't know.
Yeah, and it's a Friday night. Think about it. When you were a kid, you were 19 years old. I'm going out on a Friday night. Even though he had plans with his girlfriend, like, man, I'm just gonna hang out with the guys for a little bit before I go see my girlfriend. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You're a college kid. That's what you're supposed to do.
How did you hear that he had gotten stabbed?
I was actually called by the individuals that he went with, and they told me that he was stabbed. And then I had to end up going to UB to see that the whole parking lot was yellow taped off.
Are these the same individuals that he had went to the school, left Buff State with to go to
Mhm.
UB? And these are the same ones that got the lawyers now too.
hmm
Okay, but are they from Buffalo? Where are they from?
they're not, I don't believe they're from Buffalo.
It has like, I guess maybe this is where my I'm like hitting a brick wall because, like, me, I just like how do we continue the investigation amongst ourselves to actually start making some leeway or like headway into like who it is and what's going on.
Going to the school and asking questions. If they were on campus, someone saw something. Someone saw something. These kids, social media. These kids, kids are very, very open about what they're doing these days. They're very open. So although we may not know, there's somebody out there that does know. And I'm hoping that there's someone out there that knows, that's watching right now and can give us some sort of something. Come on, y'all. Come on,
There is a
Buffalo.
$4,000 reward that's being offered for any information
Mhm.
that's coming directly from the family's pockets, right? So any information that leads to the arrest And then there's also a tip line. I don't have the phone number for it, so maybe we can put it up on the.
Can we
post
get
it in
that
the
tip
comments.
line if anyone
Yeah.
has it?
You have a flyer?
We do have a flyer. Another thing I just want to point out too is that we're not against the police. We are pro justice for Tyler. We are advocating for more people to put pressure on the police to get justice for Tyler. We don't want to make this a political thing, but we do want to get justice for my nephew. My sister is brokenhearted. This is tough for our whole family. And we do have an Instagram page, Justice, the number 4, Tyler Lewis. There you can go there, you can like, you can share the stories on there. We have a website, Justice, the number 4, Tyler Lewis. You can go on there. We have we have a private investigator and a lawyer, but as you can imagine, that's a very expensive endeavor. So we're asking people to contribute to the GoFundMe page. So if you'd be willing to do that, our family sends our love and we appreciate that as well. But we really need more people to advocate for the police to make an arrest in Tyler's case.
What is the GoFundMe? So I just want to, so the anonymous tip line is area code 716-226-6336. There is a $4,000 reward as was just spoken about. But again, the phone number for the anonymous tip line is 716-226-6336. And the Instagram page is Justice, the number 4, Tyler Lewis. Justice 4, the number 4, Tyler Lewis. And what is the GoFundMe page?
If you go to the Instagram, there's a link tree there, and you can access all of Tyler's Twitter, the Justice for Tyler's Twitter, his Facebook, the GoFundMe page, and we actively promote people to just go in there and just share the story so we can get more people to aware of this situation because people in Buffalo don't know it. So outside of New York, it's not national news. There's been plenty of national news. You guys had a blizzard. You guys, Damar Hamilton, plenty of news gets out of Buffalo. Why not my nephew?
I think that it's very important for us as this was an event that happened. I mean, it brings us both together, Buffalo and Amherst. We have to start pushing our officials, like our city councilmen. During the snowstorm, we had Facebook doing a large prayer. During the Tops shooting, the city councilmen came together and they did a prayer. We don't want that, and it's like I feel like they're missing the point because what is it? No prayer without works. What do you say?
Faith without works is dead.
Faith without works is dead, and that's a real thing because it's like even when they hear about this, they can do a vigil for the family and they can, come together and pray. But as citizens, if we see these people out in the streets, we see them at the stores, we see them shopping where we shop at, we need to stop them and push them into doing the same thing and talk about this situation and not just sit around and pray about it because that's where it's going to go. It's going to go to a prayer and then it's going to drop.
We need to do something. We need to do something. I'm talking about the people out there in Buffalo. I'm talking about the people out there in Amherst. I'm not talking about the police. I'm talking about us. We need to do something the same way we came through for each other. People came through for each other during the blizzard. That's the same way we need to come through for each other when things like this happen. We see that our kids can get beat down in the street. Our kids can get dragged in the street. We saw what happened with Tyree. We saw what happened when our kids are looked at as not as human, because that's how I feel. Like, you can't be looking at my child as if he's human because this is going on. This continues to go on in the Black community, and we continue to sit by and allow this. This would not be okay if we decided to be disruptive. We are disruptive for everything else. Why not be disruptive for our children? They are truly our future. We are holding on here by a thread that is breaking every single day. I see it, especially people my age. I see it. Our minds are so in this trench and we can't seem to get out of it. So I look for our kids to be the future to bring us up out of this thing that we've been trapped in for so long. And it's like, they aren't even safe, y'all. They can't even go to school. We have school shootings. We have kids on campuses being killed and nothing is being done. How? I'm not saying just stand up Buffalo. I'm saying freaking stand up America and stand up for our kids. Like, how long is this going to continue to happen and we not do anything about it? And we keep looking for other people to to do it for us. And obviously it's not happening. It hasn't happened in all of this time. How many hashtags and justice for do we need to have? How many do we need to have before we finally say enough is enough is enough? And yeah, I am very, very passionate about this because I got 6 kids, y'all. I got 6. I got 2, a set of twins that's the same age as Tyler. I got a son right now that's in Chicago State University, and God forbid, I can't even imagine what you're going through right now. I'm hundreds of miles away from my baby, and you don't want to be, all over them. You want them to have some form of independence, but at the same time you're scared for them because this world can be so tragic. This world don't always look at us and look at our children and love on our children the way that we can. And it hurts to think that, man, I brought my baby all the way here, and this is what happened, and I can't even get any answers. I have to continue to come back and forth here. That takes money. That takes money. You have tolls, you have gas, you have time, you have food. Yeah, it all takes money. Loss, yeah. It's like we need to start looking at things from a different lens. We need to start looking at our lives and our children's lives as if they too hold value. If this was a young white male that this happened to, this would be on every single news station. I can Google it and I wouldn't have to look at a YouTube handle called Runaway Slave. Yep, that's his YouTube handle, Runaway Slave, to get some information. Shout out to Runaway Slave YouTube handle. If y'all want to get more information about Tyler Lewis, you can go right on his YouTube page. I tried looking up, the different news stations that are here. There was maybe one story for each, maybe CBS, NBC, and ABC. David, what?
These are the kids that we should be celebrating. They're going to school. They're doing the right thing. They're not doing the wrong thing. These kids are the ones that we should be uplifting and saying, these are pride and joy. And to be stabbed and laying on the floor and treated like this is horrendous.
He should be in finance, working at any bank that he wants to, working at any place that works in finance right now. And at the same time, he should be going for his real estate license and doing that investing that he had planned on doing. He should be a businessman or on the way to being a businessman. His mom saw a bright future ahead of him. He saw a bright future. His uncle saw a bright future ahead of him, and that was cut short. Why? And they're saying that it was self-defense, and we can't even get the name of the person who did this. Imagine if that was your child. How would you feel right now? And imagine on top of that you were 430 some odd miles away. How would you feel is what I'm going to ask you. How would you feel? I need everybody out there in YouTube land and in Facebook land who's listening to this right now. I want you to sit back and ask yourself, how would I feel if that was my child? Roquisha, I just want you to tell everybody who's listening who your son was, and then I want to go around the room and let everybody, just give a brief about, who you knew Tyler Lewis to be, or any information you have about Tyler Lewis, and then we're going to sit down without the cameras and have some food and just talk, because I'm usually not like at loss of words, but as a mom, I'm sitting here thinking, damn, if that was my child, like, you can't sleep, you can't eat. It's like my day is like all convoluted because my baby is no longer here. This is the energy I need y'all to tap in with these feelings. I need you to sit down, you right there. I need you to sit down and think of yourself as a parent, as a mom, as a dad, and think about if that was your child. How would you feel? You sent your child to school. How would you feel? You sent your child to college, and you in your mind, he was going to be safe. He is starting his new life as an independent young adult, and his life was cut short. How would you feel? How would you feel? Roquisha, tell everybody who Tyler was before we go around the room. And
That was the love of my life. He's gone.
can't nobody bring that back.
No.
Can't nobody bring that back. there's nothing that we can sit here and say to console you about that. I can't even imagine as a mom what you are going through right now. I can't even imagine if someone were to hurt one of my kids, you know, because we turn into mama bears real quick. We turn into mama bears real quick. And this is what we are telling her here in Buffalo. We're telling her that, oh yeah, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's okay for the police not to have any answers for you. It's okay for you to keep traveling on the 90 back and forth monthly. However she travels, she still has to travel. This is what we're telling her, Byron Brown. This is what we're telling her, Amherst Police. This is what we're telling her, Buff State, UB. Should I go on and on? Flynn, please help me here. This is what we're telling her, right? No answers, really?
I haven't heard from any of those people.
Nobody. So you're supposed to just go back to Long Island and just live the rest of your life in whatever peace you can find. That's what they're telling you.
My life is over.
Can we get some tissues just from over there, please?
I'd also like to point out the fact that UB has been releasing a few articles on their website, updates, they'd like to call it, on the investigation, and every time it's the same thing. We're still, this case is still under investigation and we're making progress, but they've yet to reach out to anybody or actually make some progress. It's just something to just put off, put us off, make us think that they're doing what they're supposed to do. They also mentioned in their last article that they have 63 people working on it, and that includes the FBI, investigators. It should not take 63 people to solve a case, and they still have not done it 4 months later. That just doesn't even make sense. It's
Well, I
a
think
lot.
if 63 people were working on it, that we should have
Something.
some type of solution right now. There's selective enforcement, as far as what the DA does. They pick and choose who they want to bring charges against. And the point is whether if they tell you that it was self-defense, then they should at least be able to tell you who the person was, because that means they have information. But for them not to tell you anything, I mean, I understand how you feel. We talked about it, but I'm on the other side, as a mom, with my son being locked up for a murder he didn't do. But the point is, it's selective enforcement. And it's really sickening, because I don't have mine either. He should be in college right now. But the point is, it's beyond just ignoring our Black kids. It's beyond that. This culture, like even with the police officers, they want to, I mean, don't get me wrong, those 5 officers should be in jail. But white officers have been beating us forever. Now here
And
we have
it's
a
higher than those 5 officers because with
Say it
every,
again?
it's higher than those 5 officers. Those
Exactly.
officers have someone that
It's a
they have to
system,
report to.
right? So I'm saying with a white suspect, you should at least know who he is, especially if they're saying it was self-defense. But because we don't know, we don't have any information, they won't give you information. Why are they protecting him?
Which is the question.
Like
Why
I
are
said,
they
it's selective
protecting them?
enforcement, and it goes beyond just the colleges or the politicians. It's a whole cover-up that they always do when it's a person that they want to protect.
I mean, just like, I got 2 people I'm focused on, and that's it. It's like, people know the work that I do. So what are we doing about Tyree Nichols? What is Buffalo doing about Tyree Nichols? You got the mayor's council of, all the mayors in the United States, oh, we got to get prepared for the protests that are going to happen because of
I
Tyree
saw that.
Nichols.
I even saw Mayor Byron Brown out there. I saw
Oh,
that.
that was ridiculous.
I saw that.
I'm sorry, like Tyler Lewis.
Right.
Tyler Lewis.
Exactly.
Like Tyler Lewis.
Right here in
Breonna
Buffalo.
Davis.
That's what he
Tyler
should have been
Lewis and
standing up
Breonna
for,
Davis.
what's going
Yeah.
on in his own
Right,
backyard.
and if we choose to protest, right? Our protests will be related to those individuals that are here in our community, like Tyler Lewis, that don't have justice.
Yeah.
And I think, even our leadership thinking that we're that disconnected from our community, I think that really just shows how disconnected they are. We are aware of Tyler Lewis. We've met Tyler Lewis's family. We're going to continue to push the message for Tyler Lewis. And even just through passing out these flyers at UB or even getting the flyers printed, the print shop, they're learning about Tyler Lewis.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The grocery store, they're learning about Tyler Lewis. When I'm talking to my friends, like, my car seat is broken in my car right now. But before I ended the conversation about my friend bringing over the tool that I need to fix my seat, I was telling you about Tyler Lewis.
Yeah. Everybody I've spoken to. Everybody I've spoken
Every single
to.
person, share, because that's like DA Flynn should be coming into work tomorrow morning with 300 voicemails asking about an update on Tyler Lewis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like that's just the end of it. It's like we got to be broken record, and we have this thing, and maybe it's a new millennial mindset. Maybe it's the fact that the world is spinning so fast, it's coming to an end at some point soon. But we have this ideal where we forget about things quickly.
Very quickly.
Right? We Dave Flynn thought, okay, 4 months, they'll shut up.
And not say anything.
That's 4 months, they'll shut up. UB can keep their fame. Buff State can keep their fame. His family can go mourning quiet.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to deal with it. The issues are happening, like Sanaya Dennis. There were still no answers. Just deal with it. Don't push people off. Don't say it was 60-something people working on it, and then you have no answers. And you have answers, but yet you're not saying what the answers are. Yeah, it's just double talking. So when we talk about politics, I say, we're not trying to relate his death to politics, but that's why a lot of people don't know about it, because they try to suppress it. This is a very political town, and they protect who they want to protect. So I understand what you're
I
saying.
just want to say something.
Mhm.
Brought up Tyree, brought up something about the black male that
It scares people.
it scares people.
People.
However, these are the people that are leading their families. I taught Tyler so much. Tyler was 15 minutes early to anywhere he had to be. Tyler knew about economics, how to budget his money. He was reading how to win friends and influence people. He was learning how to build relationships. Like, this is the kind of person that we need to be advocating for more. And the fact that they're taking our men, our leaders, our lions, and we don't have anything to say about it. Buffalo, stand up.
Buffalo, stand up. Buffalo, stand up. David, would you like to say something in closing?
In closing, I'd just like to say, I graduated from Buff State, and I keep putting myself in the place of Tyler Lewis, being a young black male myself, and it's hard to once again come and it's almost to the date that I don't want to keep bringing it up, but Sanaya Dennis went missing. It's hard to keep seeing these, like we all said, these young people come out here and do the things that I just did, and I'm trying to rise on the scale of doing better. I may be broke because I'm out here doing this stuff for the community, but it's like I want to see these. I know Tyler and Sanaya, and these people will be out here with me doing this because it's like I see myself in their shoes. So, my condolences definitely to the family. This is a really hard topic to talk about, and it's hard to keep dealing with this type of stuff in Buffalo. Going home to my brothers who haven't even reached high school yet, and it's like, come on now, like, where are we leading our people to?
Exactly.
Buffalo definitely needs to stand up and stand strong with this one. And just like with Tyree Nichols, we need Tyler Lewis, we need national, we need to, start really talking and getting on the streets about Tyler Lewis.
There you have it, everybody. We need to stand up. If we don't do anything else this coming week, I want to see more justice for Tyler Lewis. I want to see more of that. I want to see people sharing. I want to see people talking about it. I want to, if you are at the Spot Coffee or if you are in Tim Hortons line, I want you, did you hear about Tyler Lewis? That is how we're going to get the word out. That's how we're going to get action. Of course, they aren't going to do anything because they aren't being forced to. We have a family that is advocating for their loved ones. We need more than just the family to advocate for Tyler Lewis. We need the community to advocate for Tyler Lewis. Again, that could be your child. That could have been your child. You could have been the one that's making that trek miles away from home to come and stand up for your son because you don't see anybody else doing it. So I'm going to close on that. Thank you everybody for watching another episode of Think and Grow with Vette Green. Make sure you guys go to the Justice for Tyler Lewis Instagram page, and I hope I see more donations going in there for the GoFundMe. We need to take care of our own. We need to make sure that our kids know that they are safe. We need to make sure that our kids realize that they truly are our future, especially in the Black community. When we have kids such as Tyler, who's going to school, doing the right thing, as his uncle said. He was not out here creating havoc. He was a young man who was actually doing something with his life. That should be something to fight for. So thank you again. Thank you, Jay from 716 Live, for coming in for this special broadcast. This was all put together, within hours, everybody. I spoke to Roquisha this morning. She said she was an hour away from Buffalo. Miles and I have been talking back and forth, and he brought the heroes along with him. So I just want to thank you guys. Miles, did you have something to say before we close?
Justice for Tyler Lewis.
Justice for Tyler Lewis. Justice for Tyler Lewis, everybody. Thank you again. We're signing off.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you are more than welcome.